as it will take ownership over you.
Yo. Yo, yo, yo. I was gonna do a random afternoon stream and it seems like StreamYard is trying to force me to pay for it, or I have to wait till the 9th, you know? So hold on. How do I set this up? If I put this over here, what the fuck is over here? Alright. Yeah, I need a retwist on the dreads. Who gives a shit? This is just a test. This is just a test, so we can see what's going on. But alright, let's play around with this more, see what goes on. Community moderation. Start a poll. Start a question answer. Should I pay for StreamYard? Should I pay for StreamYard or wait till the 9th? Should I pay for StreamYard or wait till the 9th? There. My first poll. Yeah, my first poll. Because this channel and the show is kind of centered around. It's kind of centered around the participation of the chat. You know what I'm saying? So hold on. Let's do this right now. Let's see. Let's see how much money StreamYard wants from me anyways. See, boom, try to create. They're like, nah, you can't do shit. You have to wait till the 9th. Let's see what kind of bullshit. Local recording, StreamYard. So I gotta pay $20 a fucking month. Another bill to talk to you niggas. There's gotta be another way. There's gotta be another way. So for me to be able to kick it and chat and bring people on the panel and all that shit, I gotta pay $20? Nah, man, there's gotta be a crack for this shit or something. Like, $20 to talk to niggas online? No. No. Let's see what we got here. No. Alright, let's see if everybody comes through and somebody can help me figure out how to fix this. What are the options? What are the options? Where are the young niggas to tell me the options? Let's see if anybody comes to the chat. What the fuck? Well, paying for StreamYard. Young niggas, answer. Or I'm just gonna get off this shit. Cause yeah, paying StreamYard $20 a month is not it's not what I want to do. It's not what I want to do. It is not what I want to do. But hold on. Maybe I should start. Maybe I should make some pre-recordeds. But fuck it, man. Display that as a background. Display capture. Boom. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what master. Hold on. What, I don't have enough bandwidth to go live and stream this nigga's live? That's some bullshit. Wait, go to display capture? Yeah, it's just weak. You know, we're just testing shit, trying to see what it's like. Let me put some background noise on. You know, let's see what it.
しゃべちゃん始まりました。ゆるです。おみです。そうです。よろしくお願いします。
What's going on? Anybody pass through here? Yo, say something in the fucking chat, man. Fuck is wrong with you? Say something in the goddamn chat. You niggas, dog. Damn, Henny Breath is old. She look like she's not ready for this. She easily in the pink top, she easily could be 60 years old. That's Asian genetics. She easily can be 60 years old. Pussy still gets wet, you know? Oh yeah, I forgot where I am right now. You get to see my shitty unmade bed behind me, you know? You get to see my, yeah, it's a king size. But you get to see that, shitty unmade bed behind me. Let's see. I'm just waiting for one of the homies to come through. I'm waiting for one of the homies to come through and hit the chat and let me know what's going on. Let me know what's going on. Is this watchable? What's going on? Is it not watchable? You feel me? Hold on, let me turn on my other computer. You know, we're chilling right now testing shit, so let me turn on the other computer. And I don't want to talk to you niggas right now, so here. Listen to these.
ねこれどういう戦い？ひなちゃんがいない。怖い。怖い。しかもドローンも怖いし。気をつけて。そのまま。
Hold up, this shit dangerous. They almost broke my baby's back. What the hell? This bitch is an actress. He ain't no athlete. Why you over here fucking my bitch up? Fuck is wrong? Asian bitch is fragile. Asian bitch is fragile. You feel me? Almost broke my whole bitch in half. What's wrong with you? Almost sued that whole establishment. Hold on, we turned on the other computer. I'm trying to see myself, see how this is going. Oh yeah, my bad. Watch this bullshit while I'm. That other bitch athlete. This an athlete. Look at this shit. Nothing. Alright, let's see what's going on. Why does it have this title? Why does she got this title? Hold up. I see people passing through. Say something in the goddamn chat. The hell? Say something in the fucking chat. Alright. Alright, so how do I change this right here? Hold up. How do I make this do what it do? Boom. Boom. So you get, I need the title here. Alright. You see, I save this shit, just automatically. Hold up. Boom. I saved the shit, so. I'm just chilling right now. I'll put some bullshit on. You motherfuckers playing with me. I'll put some bullshit on. Let me see if this shit will play finally. Damn, that's why it was gone. They shut one master teacher's dumbass down. Let's see what BSL is talking about. This connection ain't shit. Hit me in the chat. Let me know my connection ain't shit, because I feel like it's the VPN might be mashing my shit up. But let's see what's up with BSL.
So, Beta Simp Life here, y'all. Entertainment only. Represent Dusty, Pookie, Ray Ray, Mendici, Offset, Peter Guns, Russell Wilson, Papoose, Fair Use. So, I'm looking through YouTube and I'm seeing things, right? And, you know, lo and behold, here we go. Kendra G jumps out the window and disrespects you black alpha men. Alphas disrespects alpha men, because Beta Simps, Pookies, and Ray Rays, we're clearly the one having the babies out here. So, this is a straight shot to all alpha men that want a good, decent black woman to have a family with. And man, brothers, let me tell you niggas something, man. This is sad. Kendra G jumps out the window against alpha black men and says, look, women, freeze those eggs. Let's get into it.
Every now and then I see a comment that I need to respond to. It was going so fast, I wish I could have screenshot the name, because I would like to talk to that person directly. But let me just say
whoa. Like I tell y'all, gladiators, unruly, ready to get busy in a violent way. You understand? So she said she would rather, she wish she could talk to this person in person because of the comment that they left. Let's go.
Every now and then I see a comment that I need to respond to. It was going so fast, I wish I could have screenshot the name, because I would like to talk to that person directly. But let me just say this because I have definitely been open and share how I froze my
I think we're gonna do a show. Hold on, I stopped the shit. I think, you know what? I might do a live with just a chat. I'll set it up for a little later. And if I can make $20 during my live, I'll pay for StreamYards with that $20. Other than that, I think I'm going to retire from YouTube because I'm not paying $20. Fuck that shit. For what?
my eggs.
Right.
And when I turned 40, I did it. The best thing I've ever done.
This bitch froze her eggs when she was 40? Why you gonna freeze them old ass eggs? Why didn't you freeze them 21-year-old eggs? That's some bullshit.
The best thing I ever done. And I highly suggest, every now and then I see a comment that I need to respond to. It was going so fast, I wish I could have screenshot the name because I would like to talk to that person directly. But let me just say this because I have definitely been open and share how I froze my eggs. And when I turned 40, I did it. The best thing I've ever done. The best thing I ever done. And I...
That's some crazy shit to even say. Like, I froze my eggs. Much less old eggs. You feel me? 40-year-old eggs. Isn't that something I heard? Like, men are producing more sperm all the time, but women are, like, born with all the eggs they're going to have, or they develop, and that's all the eggs they have, right? So these are, like, 40-year-old eggs. And you froze 40-year-old eggs? Does that sound appetizing? You sound, ew. What's the point?
I highly suggest all women do the same. And let me tell you why. Because
The best thing I've ever done in my whole entire life was put a freezing on my eggs. And I recommend that all women do it. And she's going to tell us why. Let's go.
and when I turned 40, I did it. The best thing I've ever done. The best thing I ever done. And I highly suggest all women do the same. And let me tell you why. Because, see, men have the opportunity to procreate. They can procreate at 60, right?
Yeah, it's called nature, the way God intended. We don't freeze our nuts to smash a young bitch at 60 years old and have like a healthy child. You feel me?
At 70, women biologically do not have the same, so there's pressure. Life is individual. Some women might meet.
Here we go.
Bitch can't take any pressure. Let me say this before BSL says it. Bitch can't take no pressure.
First, let's do this.
They can procreate at.
See people coming here and looking for a second. Hit the fucking like button. Even if you don't know what this is, it's random. I know how the algorithm throws random shit at you. Okay, you're gonna go along your way and watch whatever you usually watch. Hit the like while you're going to do that.
Even Kendra G, a woman with such a good life, still wants to be in competition with a man. And they take this competition as far as defying biology. See? So in competition with a man so bad that they want to defy biology. And now she done went as far as said it's the best thing she's ever done to not have a baby come out of her. Or however, I don't even know how they do this shit. But thus far, to not have a baby come out of her. And she would recommend this for the young girls going forward. Let's go.
The best thing I ever done. And I highly suggest all women do the same. And let me tell you why. Because, see, men have the opportunity to procreate. They can procreate at 60, right? At 70. Women biologically do not have the same, so there's pressure. Life is...
Yo, this is the homie BSL channel, Beta Simple Life. Go follow him. We mess with his channel. I'm just chilling right now, testing this shit out. So yeah, we're gonna watch this episode. I haven't watched it yet, and I'm here. You feel me?
Individual. Some women might meet their husband at 22. Some women might meet their husband at 44 or 45. Who knows? I cannot give you that answer because your life is individual. But yes, you know, it is more challenging to get pregnant when you are older. So what freezing your eggs does, it gives you an opportunity to have that safety net at a time if you happen to be older and you do want to have children. So for
gross.
Anyone that thinks that they were, I don't know, trying to hate on me or shame me, bitch, it's the best thing I've ever done.
Bitch, is the best thing that I've ever done was to freeze my eggs. Now, Anybody that watches my channel, they know. Here's the question that I have, miss. Yes, you froze your eggs. It was a great thing. You had money to defy biology and whatever that means. But what we like to know on this channel is we like to know, with that being said, how many deletions has your box accounted for? And even at this advanced age, are you still deleting because you know you have a safety net? Now, when they freeze these eggs, get in the comment section and let me know. They put these eggs in another person, or how does this work? So they put the eggs in another person and...
Well, what they do is they freeze the eggs, and then they pray to Satan, you know, and then Satan has some type of Baphomet homunculus baby or something like that.
I don't know, man. The thing is, the shit sound freaky. Okay? And the point of the matter is, she's professing this shit. We already know that, well, at least we used to know before society changed. The miracle, I'm a miracle, you're a miracle. All people that's born was a miracle. So, I mean, a lot of the women that we know, they enjoyed being a part of the miracle. So Kendra G's taking that whole pleasure away from herself, and she's up here defending this bullshit. That, yo, I threw my eggs up in the freezer, and I don't know when I'm gonna, do my thing, but, they're there. Let's go.
So what freezing your eggs does, it gives you an opportunity to have that safety net at a time if you happen to be older and you do want to have children. So for anyone that thinks that they were, trying to hate on me or shame me, bitch, it's the best thing I've ever done. And it's something that I want.
That's very important right there, that she could come on public and say bitch and just be unruly. See, because that's the whole reason why the bitch ain't got no kids. See? She wants to be able to just do whatever she wants. Listen, I hate to say this because I seen her daddy. Her daddy seemed like a good man. And she just disregard that man. Bitch. Knowing your daddy don't want you doing this silly shit. But, hey, I control my life. And like she said, I'm an individual creating for the black community or black, extending that, yo, you on your fucking own. We're all individuals out here. And that is where all of you guys, you alpha men, need to understand. These bitches are against you procreating. Now, you take it that way or you take it the child support way. Your choice is yours.
All women to consider, especially if you are a woman who is a career-driven woman.
Alpha niggas, you like career-driven women. I want my woman bout it. Go ahead, brother. I don't want her to have no kids. Right. You have no fucking account on how many deletions came out of this fucking box. Bitch playing miscarriage on you. Bitch playing all sorts of shit. You alpha men, you guys are really starting to get pathetic out here. And that's why I'm glad Kendra G did this to y'all. To let you know, look, I deal with big ballers. And them niggas don't stand a chance. And I want all you ladies to feel the same way. Let's go.
Driven woman. The best thing I've ever done. And it's something that I want all women to consider, especially if you are a woman who is a career-driven woman.
Why would you tell any bitch to wait until you're an old ass bitch to have children and freeze your eggs and go through medical procedures and shit? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Motherfuckers just say anything like it makes sense.
I am extremely happy in my life. I would not be where I am in my life. I would not be around the men that I date in my life if I did not become
the men that you date in your life. You get smashed out by some niggas who don't want your old ass. They'll hit it sometimes, but whatever. We want young hoes. So it is what it is.
complete full self.
What the fuck does that mean? Because it sounds like...
Let me pull that back mic so you can hear what BSL said. Let's go.
What does that mean?
Not be around the men that I date in my life if I did not become my complete full self.
What the fuck does that mean? Because it sounds like if I had tied myself down with a baby, I would not have the life that I have. Why you can't just say that? What's the problem? It's okay. Everybody knows you act like you some different bitch. That's what every black man is sitting out here saying. As much and as rich as you are, the bitch walking to the corner store with pajamas and a bonnet and a tank top on feels the same way. A bitch that work in CVS and all that shit feels the same way you feel. You're all the same, and that's fine. Because my thing is, I'm trying to tell the alpha men, you heard her, all the men that I date. So I could just have this box dancing around, boxing in the gym. I could have this box boxing all sort of heavyweight boxes. And I ain't got to worry about this whole get pregnant thing. I'll delete that box day after that box, birth control that box. Because I date a lot of men. Listen.
My life, I would not be where I am if you are a woman who is a career-driven woman. I am extremely happy in my life. I would not be where I am in my life. I would not be around the men that I date in my life if I did not become my complete full self. Okay? I have the individual life journey, and I have no regrets about not having a baby at 35 or 25 or whatever 5 age that you watching my show.
Okay, I believe you, bitch. Okay, all right.
Right now, think I should have had a baby. It wasn't the time for me. Okay?
Now, that is where you just fucked up. Because we know that wasn't the time for you. When you have frozen eggs, and we know that you plan forward and ahead, when is the time? See, because your eggs are frozen, so a man don't matter. So I want to know, when is the time? Since you know everything else, bitch. It's sad. You know every fucking thing else, but when is the time that you stop being this fucking auntie? See, because we know you don't want no babies, man. You did that shit. What would make you do that? Okay, when you gonna have them? Well, I did it because I knew I had my career and everything. Well, when you gonna have them? I don't know. I gotta find a man. A man for what? He don't take part in that shit. Well, I gotta find a female to. Go ahead, honey.
It might have been a time for some other female, and big ups to you. Big ups to you, because that was your life. That was your life path. That was not my life path.
You make a kid, I make this money. And I be a legend to all black women who want to be like me. Even if they have babies, they want to not have babies and they want to ball out like me. Let's go.
Okay? It might have been a time for some other female, and big ups to you. Big ups to you, because that was your life. That was your life path. That was not my life path.
Right.
And no one thinks.
That was not my life path because I chose to defy biology. My box had got pregnant. My box was pregnant before. But I said, hold on, let me toss these eggs up. Let's go.
I don't want you to think that you are shaming me, because I always tell my age. I am 44. I'm very proud to be 44. I have worked extremely hard for my life, and I'm reaping a lot of benefits and a lot of blessings.
And she sit there and she laugh at every girl that say she a hard worker. Yes, honey. But what about it's so selfish to not give your daddy a grandbaby. It's just so selfish. You know what? Yo, subscribe to the channel, man. The bitch is selfish as hell. Let's go.
All right, you see who it is. You see who it is. I'm gonna chill and finish this little J, see if anybody comes on this non-StreamYard live. You feel me? It's kind of depressing. Where you start StreamYard set up. But I ran out of time, and I'm not gonna pay. Unless I get some encouragement. If I get some encouragement, I might pay, or we might have to do it. What's it called? A marathon? A telethon? Not a telethon. We're gonna do a podathon. We'll do a podathon, a streamathon. And we try to run up that. We try to run up that $20. We run up that $20, and we're back in the game. We're back on StreamYard. But until then, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna pay for StreamYard. But this is Candace Owens and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, this weird psyop or agent or wherever the hell he is. This guy can't stop talking about his case and being in house arrest, and how you usually when you have a case you shut up and stuff like that. But what do I know? I'm just a guy who fought a case before. Let's go. Hold on, I got this bitch muted. Why this nigga smiling like this? That shit looks evil. Why you smiling like that? This shit looks evil as hell.
Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a very long time.
Very long time.
Actually, I met you downstairs at the Ritz.
Correct.
George and I were engaged at the time.
Yep.
And I probably was very swept up in George and barely got time to talk to you, but I do remember you being very polite. So it's interesting to fast forward to today, and you were very much in the UK circuit.
Yeah.
Now it seems like your celebrity is kind of really hitting the US market. They're kind of finding you for the first time, digging up a bunch of old clips, and there's a lot of pressure now on conservatives to say something really awful about you.
There seems to be a pressure on everybody on all sides to say something awful about me. I kind of feel like I've been placed in a position where there's always someone attacking me new each day. But I guess I was built for it because it doesn't bother me like it should, perhaps.
You seem
You can see that he's built for it, but you pause. But you can see the more stressed out he gets, or the further he gets into the Illuminati, he's looking more like a black guy. You feel me? You couldn't really see it, but I see it more and more. I see it, nigga.
to be doing pretty well given the circumstances.
I know the truth of my heart, and I know that what I say is the truth, and I understand very well the internet and how it works, and I also think I'm perspicacious enough to understand there's certainly a degree of weaponized virtue and perhaps a degree of jealousy and perhaps a few other things that are involved in all of these attacks. I don't believe that people who sit and attack somebody for their past, especially something from so long ago, are genuinely virtuous. I don't think it's about virtue. I think it's about, well, I can get some clicks this way, or I can get some views that way, or he did the biggest interview ever, or whatever it is. There's certainly some other motivations. And I don't want to say water off a duck's back. I don't want to come across as arrogant. However, I do believe that since the dawn of human time, every single king with any kind of...
Hold on a second, man. I know this nigga loves to hear himself talk, but I don't love to hear him talk. So, come on, Candace. You're a goddamn professional. You don't have timestamps in here. You're trying to get me. You're trying to force me to give you these watch hours. You don't have timestamps. Well, nobody in here got timestamps. Some bullshit. Whatever. Let's go.
Kind of empire was constantly at war. And I think if you're going to become one of the most famous people on the internet, you're going to be at war. And you'd be a fool to become massively influential and then cry about the fact that you end up in constant battles. It doesn't matter if you're Napoleon or Charlemagne or Genghis Khan. There's always someone prodding the edges of your empire, trying to find weakness, see what a little bit of land they can take. And I think it's always been the same. And right now, I guess you could say, to a degree, I certainly have an empire and I'm massively influential. And there's a degree of, I wouldn't say jealousy, but there's certainly some ambitious people who are trying to damage it. I think that's what it is.
So I did see a mashup clip that we're not going to show because I thought it was unfair. I will say that. Yeah. Only because there was no context provided to the clips. It was just an extract of something that you said that 10 years ago. Some of them were literally 10 years ago.
Yep.
Andrew Tate always talk about how life's not fair for a man. You got to do whatever and make it. It doesn't matter. It's not fair. Show us the clips. I don't care if it's fair. Show this nigga talking crazy.
didn't know what year it was from, didn't know who you were talking to, didn't know what context it was. And I've been victimized online by something like that before, where somebody takes something abstract and says, well, this is what must be what she means, until they're provided the full context of the clip.
Yeah.
And I also take exception to, I think, digging back 10 years. I don't know who could survive that litmus test. I'm 34 years old today.
Yeah.
10 years ago, today I speak to my audience. I talk about, they call me puritanical. I talk about, not drinking.
Yeah.
I think the biggest change has been becoming a mother. And it would really be unfair if we went and found Candace at 24 years old, liberal, dancing at One Oak.
Dancing at, I don't know what else. That's a strip club? Candace Owens was a stripper? I'm out the loop. I don't know nothing. She just looked crazy in the face to me. Look at her eyebrows and she looked crazy in the face. Hold up. I'm not going to take it back. We're going to keep seeing her crazy face. Let's go.
And said, well, look at these clips of Candace Owens. Fortunately, I had no cameras in my face 10 years ago.
Yep.
You somehow did.
How your hair's going to look nothing like your face? It's not embarrassing for a woman. You feel me? If you are a woman, or you aren't some type of Island of Dr. Monroe concoction, because you don't even look like people in the face to me. I'm being 100%. I'm being real. You don't even look like people in the face to me. You feel me? This is what a person looks like. I'm pretty sure I've been seeing people my whole life, and this is not what people look like.
So I think it's a bit unfair. I also think that some of the critique that is coming your way is coming from people who are well-intentioned, like they actually don't perceive, maybe perhaps, okay, this is 10 years ago, what the context is, has he changed since? So I will ask the question, and we are going to get into some of those clips. You said you're an open book. Yeah. How have you transformed? And I've seen changes just, I think, in the last 5 years.
Yep.
Who are you?
Before you went into the jail, you were just talking about hoes and getting bitches and shit like that. What are you talking about? Now the niggas gonna talk about this metamorphosis he went through or some shit. Like, niggas are just fake, man. This aging ass nigga, man.
You today, how have you transformed?
That's a very good question. It's also very important when you talk about Candace from 10 years ago. The idea that you did something 10 years ago, which you would no longer agree with, is one thing. But the second thing, to come along to the conclusion that you now have no value to add to the world would be massively unfair, right? Everybody changes, and that's fine. I'm not the kind of person who's going to sit and apologize for his past. I believe all's well that ends well. I believe we're humans and we grow and we learn. I'd be a fool and I'd be disingenuous to sit here and pretend I was sorry for something I did in the past. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be very honest to everyone at home. I've talked at length for a very long time about my history and the fact I used to run a webcam business, and I don't feel guilty for that. I know that's maybe what they want from me. I don't feel sorry for that. I've never hurt anybody. It has nothing to do with my current criminal case. Everybody who worked for me was very positive. In fact, my #1 supporter is currently online, and my best lifelong friends and some of the letters I got in jail were from people who worked for me at that time. And I had a business, and I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend that I feel guilty or I feel sorry for that. I'm from a low-income background. I did what I had to do to survive. And truth.
I thought your pops was in the CIA. What do you mean you're in a low income? You said your pops was in the CIA. You said he was with you all the time. He raised you and your brothers. You talk about him putting you through like little like brotherly love tests and stuff like that, teaching you chess tournaments and all that. So you had both parents. One's in the fucking government alphabet organization, but what are you talking about, nigga?
Truthfully, all in all, being very honest, I don't think what I did was really that bad. And I want to say that, and I know people are going to lose their minds for it, but
I'm not losing my mind. Yo, hold up. I'm not losing my mind, Andrew. The hoes want to sell ass. Who cares, dog? You tapped into the simp economy. That's great. I congratulate you for tapping into the simp economy, bro. Now let's talk some more.
I didn't sell drugs. I didn't kill anybody. I mean, what did I do? I found a...
You sold pussy. And that can go bad at any time, bro. That's what you did. They can, and yes, 100% legal. You were operating within the law. The law don't matter.
Gap in the market, and I helped some people organize some accounts on an internet website. That's what I did. And they're going to try and criticize me and crucify me for the next 100 years because of it, because of clips that were made 10 years ago. I think it's disingenuous, and I don't think anyone actually really cares about the virtue of it, because nobody who was involved in my life back then is complaining about anything. I think it's just an attack on me. And certainly we learn and we grow and we change, but it's very interesting how hypocritical the idea of looking at somebody's life over such a long period actually is. I mean, we can look at Donald Trump, right, who I'm a fan of. I guess I know you've had your ups and downs with him, but in the conservative sphere, he's pretty well respected. Donald Trump used to own the Miss Universe pageant. Are we going to criticize him? Are we going to crucify him? What about the girls?
Yes, they have criticized him. What kind of dumbass analogy is this? A comparison?
He had a Miss Universe who decided to go on and do Playboy magazine. Is he a bad person now? Why? Now, that's not Christian values, right? People are messy, and life is messy, and nothing is completely clean. And this idea that you're going to find somebody and 10 or 11 years ago, they did something which might even be slightly distasteful, not even illegal, and you're going to crucify him forever. I just don't believe that's genuine virtue. I think it's just an attack.
I do think what's happening right now is they are wrongly conflating you having run a webcam business, however long it was ago, to the criminal cases happening in Romania. And this is why I interjected in my voice when people were saying, he's not a conservative, he's not a Christian. I don't understand why Christians are giving him a platform.
And I'm very sorry to interrupt. I'm very sorry to interrupt you. But yeah, I will say right now, I would never consider myself a conservative from that standpoint.
Right.
I'm a rational actor. I'm a reasonable person. I'm intelligent. I use my brain. And I guess that makes me align with many conservative issues overall because the other side have lost their minds. I don't wake up and stand there as a conservative figure. I don't consider myself a conservative figure. I've just ended up aligning with them on a lot of core issues because I'm a forward-thinking, rational person. But I'm certainly not a I don't stand up and say, hey, I'm a conservative. I'm not interested in whether the conservative want to embrace me from that perspective or not. I have no interest in that. I wasn't even particularly political until my recent debacle where I realized a lot of things about the world and how avoiding politics will not save you.
You made your position and built the team for the social media market, and it was pretty genius, you know. And I have to say genius because you accomplished your goal. You became the most popular person on the internet in the world, but you did that strategically. So now you're playing victim like a hoe. Let's go.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. That's one of the things I pointed out is I said, he's never said he was conservative. He is not identifying as a Christian. So why are we suddenly using that as whether or not a Christian, a conservative can put him on a platform and talk about something that is relevant? And something that is relevant is whether or not you are being wrongly or unfairly persecuted by a government.
Yeah.
I have spoken on my platform after examining the charges against Harvey Weinstein. He's clearly not a conservative. He's about as far left as it really gets. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I don't have an interest in whether or not he's guilty or not guilty and whether or not he was persecuted because of a overtly political movement like Me Too. So I do not like that these things are being conflated, but I want to park that aside because we are going to get into your case and just stick with what you just said about the webcam business. So you say you don't have any guilt for it.
I'm not sorry. I don't operate in that frame. I don't think it's an intelligent way for a man to go through life to say, I'm sorry. At a younger age, I did the best I could possibly do, and I did the best I believed at the time. And you grow from it and you learn, and perhaps there's times in your life where you look back and think, well, maybe I would have.
Do you renounce the webcam business, yes or no, dog? Do you renounce it? What is your position now on somebody getting their money like that?
Done this differently because hindsight's always 20/20, but every rapper sold drugs. Like you get to a certain stage in your career where you no longer sell drugs and you don't do it anymore, but that's part of the life journey and life's messy. And I'm not going to sit here and apologize to any conservative who wants to sit me down and try and give me some moral high ground garbage. I'm not going to listen to it. I had a very rough upbringing, a very tough life, and it could have been so much worse in so many ways. I've done nothing illegal. I've never hurt anybody. Everybody who was involved in my life back then are massive supporters of me. And I think it's very hypocritical for someone to sit, look at a situation they were not involved in and don't understand, look at old clips taken out of context, and then tell me and a whole bunch of people who were in my life who were all perfectly happy that something bad happened and something wrong happened. I don't think that's genuine. And for that reason, I'm not going to sit and be preached to by these people who are imperfect themselves. Everybody's imperfect. And another thing that's really important, we talk about Christian values. I also think that I find it very interesting and ironic that I'm somehow the problem and these Christians feel like they need to come and attack me now in the name of Christian values. I think Christianity has much bigger problems than Andrew Tate and some old clips. I think they have much bigger problems that are happening in their churches on a daily. I think you can go to a Christian church in a lot of America and be very disappointed in what you've seen. I don't think I'm the problem with Christianity. And yeah, it's very interesting. But there was a webcam company, and I've talked about.
All right, so he said he's being taken out of context. Say he's being taken out of context. So Let me give dude a chance. Let me give dude a chance. You feel me? We're taking him out of context.
Welcome to the Tate PhD course. If you've bought this course, which you obviously have, congratulations, you're going to change your life for the better. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm fucking certified. I know I don't look like a pimp right now. I look like a...
About it at length on many different podcasts. I had a business. Many girls on...
So whatever. I actually went out of my way and bought a whiteboard. That's some genuine effort. But the only pen I have is green, which is going to be difficult for you to see. So we're not going to use the whiteboard. We're going to put graphics in the video instead, which is more effort. Should have charged double for this shit. Anyway, so I'm going to teach you from the ground up how to get it done.
We're going to see how he was taken out of context. He's going to show us from the ground up how he's been taken out of context. Let's go.
I was thinking if I was going to do like modular videos, like little modules on each thing of how to do it, or just do one long video. It's actually quite difficult. It's almost like, imagine you're the best baker in the world and someone comes to you and says, teach me how to bake. Well, the first thing you're going to do is go, okay, well, bake what? Bake a cake, bake bread in an oven or on a fire, or how long do I have? What are the ingredients? Like the first thing the master baker is going to do, master baker, is going to ask you loads of questions, because baking is such an all-encompassing art. It's very difficult to just explain everything. And pimping is very much the same. It's very difficult for me to just explain absolutely everything, the whole 360 degrees.
So he's saying pimping straight up, right? Okay.
But I'm going to try anyway. And for that reason, I'm not going to do modules. I'm not going to break it down to little videos. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to fucking lay down some knowledge for the next long time. And your ass needs to get a pen and a fucking paper and pay attention. If you have to watch this video over and over and over again, fine. If you have to watch this video and understand that there's certain parts of it that you need to tweak to fit your particular style, fine. I'm not saying that this is going to be absolutely utterly rigid, but it is going to be a fail-proof system. That's what it's absolutely going to be, because there are some rules which are ironclad, can't be broken, and some rules there's exceptions to. So there's going to be a whole bunch of talking here. So if you haven't gone piss, go piss. Get some fucking popcorn. Buckle up. This is lesson 1 in your Pimp and Hose degree.
Lesson 1 in the Pimp and Hose degree. So far he said you're going to teach me how to pimp hose. We're taking a break from the Candace Owens interview to see where he's being taken out of context. So let's see.
Right, let's start with the basics. The basics are as follows. And like I said, when you're watching this video, there's going to be some rules which I tell you which are ironclad and can't be broken, and sometimes there's exceptions to the rules. I've read a lot of the manosphere bullshit, and sometimes they say, if you fuck her on the first date, she ain't worth shit. That's not true. I've had girls who I fucked on the first date who weren't worth shit, and I've had girls who I fucked on the first date I was with for 2 or 3 years, and they were fiercely loyal to me, and they were fantastic girlfriends. So that is a rule which has exceptions. But there are some rules with no exceptions. Like, oh, my girl has male friends, they're just her friend. No, not allowed. That is a rule that can never, ever, ever, that cannot be broken. If you got your chick on lock and she's in love with you, she ain't interested in talking to no other fucking dude about Game of Thrones or some dumb shit. She's interested in talking to you and you only. So, like I said, I'm going to do a lot of talking here, and what I want you to do is pay a lot of attention, and especially pause this video. If I'm giving you examples, or I'm talking about things, try and apply them to your own life, or where you've tried things in your own life, or your own current situation, and see how they fit. I'm very open for questions, comments. If you have any particular questions or comments you want to come at me with, drop me an email. There's no problem at all. So we're going to start at the very, very beginning, which is the overview of the sexual marketplace that we currently live in. We currently live in a sexual marketplace which is extremely difficult for men. And it is getting harder and harder. It is not getting easier. It's getting harder and harder. Because women, biologically, are programmed to share an alpha male. Now I say this, and this is what's actually interesting to me, a lot of the manosphere stuff, the 21 Convention.
See, I'm not against it. I'm not saying niggas lying or anything like that. I'm just saying you can't do this. You feel me? And then come out and shame hoes later and try to talk to bitches and shit like that. Like, no.
Stuff, all this shit is talking about how women are wrong and women need to be fixed. I don't necessarily think that's the case. If you can position yourself in the correct place, you'll have more than enough women. So by the way the sexual marketplace works is, if you're in the wrong place, you don't have enough women. But if you're in the right place, you have too many women. I have more women than I can see. By the time I've fucked all the girls I need to fuck to keep my normal rotation going, I don't have time to go on a date. Every night is planned. Every night I'm looking at my phone and I've got 4 choices and I'm like, where am I going to stay? And that's not just because I've got money, because it's been like this before I had money. I've had money for 6, 7 years. It was exactly the same before I had money. I've always had too many women because I understand where to position myself. So the first thing I want you guys to do is, a lot of this red pill stuff is anti-women, the way that women are hypergamous and they don't like the way the world works and women only want this and that, and it's really negative. You are not going to be successful with girls if you hate girls. You need to get that shit out your head, and you've got to change your mindset where you don't like how women think. I don't like how women think. Women do this, women do that. Women think a particular way, and that's fine. If you know the rules to the game, if you can bend the rules, or you can put yourself in the right position so that the rules of the game favor you, then you should be very happy women think a particular way. So a lot, like I said, a lot of this red pill stuff is trying to change the way women think, trying to say that women think a certain way and this is wrong, and like there's a new convention coming out, 22 convention, Make Women Great Again, about how to make women great. If women were completely fair like men and every woman just got with one guy, then where's the fun in being a G? Where's the fun in having all these chicks? Well, how come I have so many? I only have so many because there's a whole bunch of dudes out there with none. That's the way the world works. So I'm going to teach you to be a...
Nigga, get to the point, man. You know what? I think I might have illustrated the point I was trying to make already. That's possible. Because we just said, I don't see how it's out of context. You said you're pimping and teaching pimping, all right? But I know you could digital pimping within the law. So I'm not saying that you're saying you did anything illegal. You feel me? I'm just saying that it is what it is. Stop acting like a bitch now. Let's go.
On there were perfectly fully clothed and would paint pictures or sing and dance and laugh. I've talked about this at length. I've had nothing to do with it for 10 or 11 years, and nobody was ever hurt.
Yeah, he had a webcam where bitches were just like there fully clothed and dancing and laughing and painting. That's what the bitches are doing. That's what bitches do on webcams, bro. And the thing is, like, I don't dislike this guy. This shit is just so fucking corny, you know? Disingenuous. Yeah, you know, I read, and we had girls and they were painting, and what the fuck are you talking about, dog?
And I am not sorry for it. I don't see why I should be.
Okay. So the way that I read you, and you can definitely let me know if I'm wrong, obviously, because you are you, is that people that don't come from a lot, me and you, obviously, obviously have different decisions that lay before us in life than people that come from everything, or people that come from a very stable household, 2 loving parents. And this kind of gets into the dilemma. I remember years ago, Tommy Lahren had said something, she's a political commentator in the US, had said something to the effect of, well, you know, Jay-Z used to sell crack. And he sort of laughed.
And he probably did.
And he did. And he sort of laughed this off. And I remember looking at that because I looked up to Jay-Z's music so much, you know, and I looked up to him because it made it possible for me to change my circumstances. So you're looking at this guy who comes from nothing. He came from the projects. He sold drugs, and then he doesn't have to sell drugs anymore. And he's now talking about ideas and talking about business. So I was able to more closely understand and go, okay, I can actually climb out of these circumstances, even though I wasn't born, you know, with a ton of wealth and a lot of opportunities that some people were. And I think it's very difficult for people that don't come from nothing to understand that, and they're so sure that if they were in desperate circumstances that they would still never do anything.
But this is their massive mistake, and you're right, but this is their massive mistake. The reason I have such huge affinity with the youth of the world today, especially the masculine youth, is 1, because a lot of them are disenfranchised, which is one conversation, but 2, also the reason my reach is so global, the reason I have so many fans in Slovenia and Southside Chicago, and I've had kids from Ulaanbaatar come up to me, Mongolia, all around the world, is because I speak to the disenfranchised, and part of that is always going to be, or is going to involve, financially disenfranchised. I'm someone who comes from absolutely nothing and made himself into something. And unfortunately, there's a rocky road sometimes, like you just described with Jay-Z, to get that done. But if I would have been born into a perfect family, like you said, 2 loving parents, family was rich, white picket fence, and I was saying all the same things, then they wouldn't have the same affinity. So if you look at even a lot of superheroes, you look at Batman, he's a flawed person. And I think the reason I'm seen as a hero and the reason I have the fan...
Batman is a multi-billionaire that uses his power to beat up on petty criminals and not go after trafficking rings or major worldwide international criminals. He goes after little petty purse snatchers in his town. He uses his billions of dollars to bully the poorest people in the town. Fuck Batman.
Fan base I have, it's because to a degree I've always been a flawed person, and I'm not a perfect human, and I don't want to be. And I think that actually adds a lot of credibility to my character as a whole, that I've become the kind of person who believes he can add value to the world. And just like you said with Jay-Z, he changed. And the biggest thing for me personally, though, truthfully, and I want the whole world to understand this, I've been forensically analyzed by multiple different federal agencies from different countries for the last 17 months, analyzing every aspect of my entire life across the last 10 to 15 years. And what did they find? An old YouTube clip? That's the worst they could find. No sexual perversion, no drugs, no genuine criminal acts. They found something semi-immoral in a YouTube clip.
A little sexual perversion. Weren't you beating the bitch on film or some shit like that? Then the bitch had to come out and be like, "No, I'm into that." But you know, I'm just saying. Let's be real. Keep it real, bro. Keep it real.
And I would actually challenge anybody who wants to throw stones at me to go through the same level of scrutiny I have been under, and let's see what they find in your life. Because I guarantee anyone who's watching this right now, you sit there, you have a secret in your closet, you have a skeleton that you don't want anyone to know about, and they would have found it. So what's the worst thing that they found about me, considering I've been the most attacked man in the world for 17 months? An out-of-date YouTube clip? An out-of-context YouTube clip? Is that the worst? I think it's crazy that people aren't even sitting there and going, okay, this guy's been absolutely attacked and from every single angle, and this is the worst they could possibly drag up.
Right. No, I agree with you. So the question I would ask you, though, because obviously you've moved away from that business, the thing I find to be the most interesting about you is that younger boys love you.
Yes.
They absolutely, like the 12, 13-year-old, 14-year-old. I have not come across a 12, 13-year-old boy who's not just an...
What 12, 13-year-old boy doesn't love bad bitches and nice cars? How are you attributing this to Andrew Tate? If he didn't have bad bitches and nice cars, they would not be attracted to him like that. You feel me? And it's crazy, like, you know, I know this is just mundane reality, but everything's just so nonsensical. But the 12 and 13-year-old boys love you. Hey, guess what? Do 12 and 13-year-old boys love titties? The 12 and 13-year-old boys like support industries, movie industries like American Pie, a movie empire and shit. Yes.
Andrew Tate stan.
Yeah.
And I think it's remarkable. It gives you a lot of power. And I think this is perhaps the interest that a lot of people have in you is, what are you going to do with this power, right? You have all of these boys, they believe in you, they stand up for you. And that is why it becomes important to state, I'm not sorry that I lived this. I don't think I would say that I'm sorry for anything decisions that I made when I was young either, because this is the deck of hands that I was given. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do try to, now knowing that I have such a following of a lot of young ladies that follow me, say like, listen, I did the idiot stuff, so you don't have to.
Power and responsibility go hand in hand. And that's the thing that's so interesting.
She said she was dancing at 801 or some number club. Was Candace Owens really a stripper? Hold on, we need to know this. Hold on, we need to know this. Give me 1 second. We're gonna figure this out right now. Come on, man. Got this bullshit playing with me right now. Alright. Was Candace Owens a stripper? Fail, blah blah blah. Candace Owens is 20 man. Candace was called Kimberly, blah blah blah. Called Kimberly Clack, a form calls Kimberly, whatever former stripper, blah blah. Alright, I guess if she was a stripper, it would have popped right up. We look at images, see if something comes up. Alright, so maybe she wasn't a stripper. Maybe she was a stripper. I don't know what the hell she was talking about. Maybe she wasn't a stripper, but let's go ahead.
these out-of-date clips, and they want to talk about these things from 10 years ago. At the time when I was talking to camera, those videos are made for private circulation initially. Secondly, I wasn't trying to educate the world on anything back then. I didn't have the kind of power and influence I have back then. The way you say something to a video which has 50 viewers has to be different than the way you say something to a video that has 50 million viewers. Power and responsibility absolutely go together, and I understand that very well, and I understand the power I have. And I do believe I'm now an absolute force for good in the world, and I'm far more careful with how I'll project myself with certain ideas. Absolutely agree, completely. But that's the thing that's even so crazy about all of it. These old videos that everyone's so concerned about wouldn't even circulate if my haters weren't constantly trying to use them against me. They'd be disappeared into the history of the internet. I don't know where these things come from. I don't know where they were found. I don't know where they are. It's kind of crazy. A lot of people are making all these constant attacks on me, and I don't watch a lot of it. I'll have to be honest with you, Candace. I don't watch all of it. But a lot of the videos are so outdated. The only reason they even exist now is because my haters are so desperate trying to take me down. They don't have any concern for them being seen because they wouldn't be circulating them otherwise. So yeah, absolutely. Power and responsibility go hand in hand. And I do believe that I now have a huge platform, and with young boys, they're exceptionally interested in my case. I do believe to a degree I'm an anti-hero. I do believe to a degree that the harder I'm attacked, the more credibility is given to me in the eyes of my fans. I think that they see, everyone's out to get this guy. Everyone was out to get Batman. This kind of feels that way. And I do try and lead everyone down a good path and say extremely positive things. And I don't think anybody is finding any clips from the last 5 to 6 years which have anything negative in them.
Right. I think you've changed. That's why I say over the last 5 years, I think there's been a seismic shift. And speaking to boys, the younger boys, I think one of the things that they're really suffering from, I get tons of responses rather unexpectedly whenever I talk about the topic of pornography on my show. And it's one of those things that, again, if you found Candace 10 years ago and you asked me about pornography, and by the way, this was actually implanted into my head from a health school, like from health education, where they would say pornography is healthy, people should watch pornography, people should engage in pornography, it's okay if you're in a relationship for you to watch pornography. And then I had a huge wake-up call when I spoke to Tim Ballard, he runs Operation Underground, and then I realized how closely pornography is related to human sex trafficking.
Real sex trafficking, not TikTok
sex
accounts.
Trafficking, and yeah, we should talk about that because they are kind of stretching the definition of sex trafficking. In your case, I've taken a look at it, and what's remarkable to me is the amount of young men, and I would say from the ages of 18 to 35, that write in and say how much they're struggling with porn, how much they're struggling with pornography addiction, how they feel that no person is talking about the ills of pornography.
How about you talk about who runs that industry and promotes these things, and who runs the media on top of that promotes these things? How about you talk about them? Oh no, you're just gonna keep talking about this nonsense, right?
Yeah. And so I just watched this clip of you this morning, sitting next to Adam 22.
You were ever interested in doing your first ever double penetration scene that me and Lena, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like,
dude,
would he be a suitable candidate? Would you,
Andrew Tate,
can I tap him in?
I don't know. No. He looks built.
Hold on, can I fill in real quick, Andrew?
You're out, Aiden. We canceled you. You're not in this conversation anymore.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Andrew. Would you, Andrew? Would you double penetrate her, bro? Would you do that, Andrew? Go ahead. Finish the answer question.
All popped together. Is that chill?
There's absolutely 0% chance of that happening. And it's not because Elena is particularly unattractive. It's because she's married to Adam, and I have.
It's not because she's particularly unattractive. Yeah, that's kind of smooth. It's not because she's particularly unattractive, but
no interest in degenerate, pointless sex, and I have no interest in making a spectacle of myself or even just involving myself in anything which I deem to be overall haram and pointless. It's just not something I'd be interested in. There's not a single amount of money on the planet you could pay me to undertake. So
you were very polite. I'm not going to be so polite. I thought he was an absolute degenerate, and I mean that. The idea of having a woman making the vows that you make in marriage and literally offering her body as he did to you was a form of degeneracy. And you were being.
He's a degenerate, or are they both degenerates? Him and the woman. He's offering. The bitch was in the porn game before he was with the hoe, but they are degenerates. Fuck Adam 22. Let's go.
Very nice and measured, and I think that. For that moment, that was the best thing that you possibly could have done because she looked quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
Lena, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Because she looked quite vulnerable. What the hell? The bitch is there half naked and she just did a porn with. Niggas just say anything on the internet, dog. I'm about to get off this fucking show, bro.
But how do you reconcile that now, right? You're in a circumstance like this, you're being polite. You did say I'm uncomfortable. You did say that I would never do this. And I think that was really important for you to say, but you're not the same person. I mean, how did you, even reflecting on it, I mean, it's so disgusting. He offered you his wife.
It is pretty disgusting. And it's also pretty misogynistic because he didn't ask her, he
No.
offered her. I felt sorry for her, so I was very measured with my conversation with them because I felt sorry for her. I could tell she was nervous. She was swinging on the chair back and forth. She didn't want to be there. She felt extremely nervous. And I think that only a coward would.
His wife, who does porn, who just came from doing a scene with a guy, she didn't want to be there. The person, her business partner who set it up, doesn't want to be there. Adam 22 was victimizing him. He was victimizing and offering this woman, like, what the fuck is going on in the world? Yeah. The masses are done, man. Earth is over. What am I here, like, questioning this shit, like, I don't know what's going on? Earth is over, done. It's done. Try to have a little fun, bro. Try not to hurt anybody and have a good time, because Earth is done.
Would berate a very nervous, very scared woman, even if she did something which I personally disagree with, even if I think Adam is personally, he doesn't align with my morals, because she was so nervous and because she was so almost afraid she looked. And I think she expected me to go at her hard. So I just felt sorry doing it. I just didn't, I couldn't find, maybe I'm getting soft in my old age, but I thought.
All right, he's talking about his morals. He's talking about his morals. Let's see where he's been taken out of context. Let's go.
My position. So you need to get rid of any hate or resentment you have towards women. Get rid of that shit out. That's the first thing you gotta do. When you understand women better, you'll understand why they do what they do, and you'll understand how to position yourself so it suits you. So the sexual marketplace is very difficult for men, and the reason it's difficult for men is because men have one weapon in the battle for sex, and that is attention. All you can give a female is attention. Right. I'm gonna take my jacket off quickly. Before I take my jacket off, let me just remind you this watch costs 30 grand. If that upsets you, get your money up. So all you have is your attention. So the basics of the sexual marketplace are as follows. You give your attention to a woman to get sex. And the woman gives you her sex to keep getting your attention. Attention into sex, sex into attention. That's how it works. Men give their attention to get sex. Women give sex to get attention.
Is that true? Is that true? I don't know. What? I guess. I don't know.
That's how it should work. But the reason the sexual marketplace is so fucked is because there's too many women out there who get attention without giving sex. So previously...
Oh, we got Young Wavy in the chat. Andrew Tate doing a press run like he ready to go to jail. He ready to go back. He already said like he'll be a blessing or some weird shit. And you know, StreamYard said I ran out of time. You feel me? I'm not paying for it. I'm considering doing a podcast. A podathon. You feel me? A streamathon or whatever. And if we can run up $20, then the StreamYard is back popping. Until then, just whatever.
Not too long ago, men didn't give a fuck about a girl they weren't banging. They didn't care. Why would you care about a girl you don't fuck? She ain't nothing to you. You don't see her. But now with Instagram, you got girls with millions of followers. Millions of men are giving her validation. Millions of men are liking her comments and liking her posts and commenting on her shit and telling her she's beautiful. And she fucks 0 of them. So that skewed up the whole thing. Now it's all fucked. Because you got chicks getting unlimited male attention without having to give their sex out. And that's why the sexual marketplace is getting difficult. Because it's the whole fucking game, the fair equation has been...
Alright, whatever, nigga. Whatever. Let's see. Say something else.
We're going to get into internal factors you can do as a person, and external factors. There are a lot of factors you can't control. I don't want to fucking... What's the shitty expression? Teach grandmother to suck eggs or some dumb shit. I don't want to state the obvious. But obviously, if you have a profile as a high value male, your attention is instinctively more valuable. So we're talking about attaching value to your attention, and we're going to do that by limiting your attention. But you can also attach value.
If a bitch don't want your attention, how you gonna limit your attention? Did I miss something? If the bitch don't want your attention, how you gonna limit your attention? You feel me? I don't get it. Yo, we got KB in the chat. KB, y'all reading the chat like this because, you know, StreamYard says I ran out of time. Yo, these early streams are killing us. It is what it is, bro. You feel me? And we're not on StreamYards. I can't open up the panel. They say I ran out of time, and they say I have to pay now or I have to wait till the 9th. And I'm not gonna pay. I'm not gonna pay. You feel me? I might do a stream-a-thon on here or something and see if I can run up to $20. If I do a stream late night, if I do a late night stream and we run up to $20, we're back on StreamYards instantly. Until then, it is what it is. Pre-recorded, nigga.
To your attention with the obvious things you already know. Go to the gym, get in shape, dress well, have money, all these basic things. But I'm not here to tell you that because that doesn't help you. You bought this course on how to get girls. I can't sit here and go get a Lambo because that ain't a fucking answer. That's stupid. But I'm saying if you do those things, it will absolutely help you because it makes you a higher value person. It means, and a girl's more interested in you because she's saying, well, a lot of the time it just sparks their curiosity.
She's more interested in you because she wants your things. She wants your stuff. The fuck? Lying ass nigga, man. That's the thing.
If you find a woman sexually attractive, I know the fucking modern world tells you that's a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with finding a woman attractive, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to sleep with a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. That is your end goal. And every move you make, every bit of attention you give, has to be progressing towards that goal. You cannot just flounder in a sea of giving out your attention. You end up in the fucking friend zone. So, like I said, just like with the bakery example, there's a million things I need to teach you guys. I need to teach you guys approaching bitches on the street. I need to teach you guys how to do things in the club. And teaching these things without experience is extremely difficult. So
the fuck is this nigga talk? This shit's crazy, man. And like motherfuckers listen to this shit and they're like, they were getting value out of this. I haven't seen this. Like I saw a clip back in the days where he was talking directly about the webcam business. And I was fucking with that one. You feel me? How to get into the simp economy and get some money out of these fucking peanut head ass hoes. But I don't know what he's talking about here. You talking about like dating a bitch? This is like a dating coach or some shit like that? Like what the fuck is going on right now?
I think she knows what I think, and I think she knows what the world thinks. And I think if I go at her too hard, it's just going to break her. And I don't really like the idea of her, you know, turning off the camera and bawling her eyes out. I think that God will teach her the lessons she needs to learn from her experience, both positive and negative. And I think that's God's job to do and not necessarily mine. But yeah, it was certainly uncomfortable. And it shows how degenerate the world is becoming. And pornography as a whole is simply just, I think it's an effect. I think it's a...
Hold up. We done stopped the show. We done stopped the show. We got Wavy in the chat. Wavy says, what's your Cash App? I got 5 on it. 5 on it. If it lands, that means we are going to be 15 away from the goal of the StreamYard back popping. And I will get it popping immediately, and we'll do a long-ass stream, and I'll have it organized well. You feel me? I'm going to put my Snapchat, I mean my Cash App. You know, that's some old nigga shit. I'm going to put my Cash App in the chat. Hold on. Boom. It's in the chat. You feel me? Let me do some chat shit. See if I get. You got. Boom. Boom. It's in the chat. Like if you started nigga Gnosis, it would have been monetized by KB in the chat. KB says, laugh out loud. If you started nigga Gnosis, would have been monetized already. There's a good chance of that. You feel me? But we might go too far. We have to have rules. And nigga Gnosis, we might have to have some rules. You feel me? You feel me? Can't talk about the small hats and how they're eating the children and want me dead. You feel me? We can't talk about that. We can talk about everything else outside of mundane reality. But oh yeah. So should nigga Gnosis be nigga Gnosis? Okay, well, what's better? I think nigga Gnosis is great. Or should it be the nature and legality? The nature and legality. Let's go.
It's a tool which is used to ensure that the male populace stays as docile as possible. I don't think that any of the things that are happening to the male population are accidental. I think that keeping us as docile as possible is very interesting for the people who are in charge of the world.
All right, whatever, nigga. We're going to skip forward a little bit. I'm sure this ain't going to be talking some bullshit the whole time. So let's go.
I helped the girls set up accounts. We worked together. I helped them become as popular as possible. And everybody made money and everybody was happy. And nobody is complaining about it. Nobody's upset about it. None of the girls who worked for me are upset about it. The government aren't after me for it. It's perfectly legal. Nothing's wrong with it. There's just a whole bunch of people who now think that they can take the moral high ground against me because I previously ran this company. And I think I can anticipate the question you're going to ask. How do I reconcile with the fact that I used to produce pornography or degree pornographic content?
Now men are writing to you like, how do I?
And now men are trying to escape it.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. There's a few different ways I can answer that question. I think the first way I'll answer it is if you own a liquor store and an alcoholic comes in and you refuse to sell him alcohol, does he stop being an alcoholic?
No.
He just goes and buys from someone else. So that's the cop-out answer. The cop-out is, well, these people who are addicted are always going to be addicted regardless of whether I did it or not. So that's the cop-out answer.
It's kind of facts though. You feel me? I think you might have heard that on the mic. It landed, and it came from an African name that I won't say on the mic. Shout out to Young Wavy. We are only $15 away from being back on StreamYards. We're only $15 away from being back on StreamYards. You feel me? As soon as we hit that dub, I'm paying StreamYards that money. You feel me? It's not even going to me. It's going to the show and to our community. Let's go. Shout out to Young Wavy.
But the second answer I can give, which I think is more detailed and probably more nuanced, is one, I intimately understand the relationship between men and these websites. I've had and seen men give away their life savings to girls they've never met. I've watched and I've seen it. And I actually think a lot of the insights I give, a lot of the things I tell the world about the mental health crisis, about men being so constantly lonely, about how important it is to build yourself into a high-value man, about how money alone is not enough. I explain all these things. A lot of these are lessons from the webcam days. I saw dudes who had a whole bunch of money, no other attributes, and they ended up on these websites spending hundreds of thousands of dollars because they didn't have anything else. So
yes, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do not underestimate the simp economy. It is a deep, limitless, bottomless well. Yes, multiple men. This nigga probably had hundreds of guys spending hundreds of thousands on these bitches. You feel me? The simp economy is limitless. And yo, if there is a God in the universe, he's going to help me tap into the goddamn simp economy.
So I think I learned a lot of important life lessons, and I do my best to try and pass them on to people. But I guess also, and this is the final answer I want to give about this whole subject, is that I do think I can take the question you're asking and reverse engineer it and use it against the people who are trying to attack me for it. My answer to it would be, how do you sit and want to criticize me for being involved in the production of pornography 10 or 11 years ago if you're involved in the consumption of it? Because you're creating a market for it. So anybody who wants to sit and say that I did things wrong, that's fine. You're allowed to throw stones. But if you're in a glass house, if you have ever signed up to an OnlyFans account, if you have Instagram, if you're following these models on Instagram who you don't know, who are showing their tits and ass all day, if you've watched porn, if you fancy or think some beautiful woman on a movie, if you're going to live in lust yourself and you're funding this entire industry, you're downstream, you're at the bottom of it, how can you then take the moral high ground on the person who's producing it? That doesn't.
This nigga said anybody who's ever felt lust for a woman ever in their life can't say nothing to him. He's like, nigga, so what? He's like, nigga, so what if I sold porn? You niggas like bitches too, right? So you're guilty.
Doesn't make sense to me. So if you've totally abstained from pornography your entire life and you've never looked at it ever, and you've never been involved with it ever, and you're a perfect person and you want to come along and say what I did was wrong, that's fine. But I don't think most people who are complaining can even say that. I don't think they can. And I will once again state this, and I state this as a matter of almost fact. The level of investigation I've gone under, the level of forensic investigation my life has been submitted to, most people don't understand. Most people have never been through what I've been through. They've not had their entire life.
Boo-hoo, nigga. Boo hoo. Most niggas also have not been the most popular nigga on the internet. You feel me? That's what other niggas most. And before becoming the most popular nigga on the internet, most niggas also didn't have a whole goddamn course to sell for $400 about pimping hoes. Like, nigga, shut up.
You. I mean, I think one of the criticisms that I faced was that I care too much about culture on my podcast. I'm like, culture is interesting. Culture is what is changing minds and changing hearts.
100%.
So if you don't want to compete with liberals in the cultural space, then what are we doing this for?
100%.
Right? What do you think the young kids, do you really think that they're, like you said, following a Senate bill that just hit the desk? Or do you think that how you convey that to them and how you're talking about ideas actually matters and culture matters? And it's something that conservatives gave up many years ago.
And they wonder why they lose. And then we call it...
Trump was cultural.
Trump was cultural.
Yeah.
Trump was fake news.
Yeah.
Trump was a hero.
This shit is corny, dog. This shit is corny. I can't watch this shit much longer. You know, Wavy hit the Cash App, and I don't want to just end the show like that. You know, this shit's lame. Let me change gears for a while. This shit's boring and stupid, dog. This nigga's corny. Let me change gears for a second. I'm gonna wind the show down. We'll do a late night show. What's up, Bama? We got Bama 5 Bama in the chat. Candace Owens give me freaks vibes. All right. Before we move forward, we'll go ahead and do a little investigation on Candace Owens because she looked.
I want to talk to you about something that's been making.
Come on, man. Because she looks kind of funny to me. You feel me? There's something about her.
So I want to shift gears here and talk about your dad, because I'm quite fascinated.
This is not a funny looking person when you look her in the face, or just because I'm not African. You feel me? But is she? I don't know. This is like a funny. This what people look like? She don't even look like people to me. I'm gonna keep it real. She don't even look like people to me.
By your dad, he passed recently.
Yeah.
How many years ago?
9 years.
9 years ago. Oh. But wow, just wasn't at all what I was expecting. A chess champ, served the country. His name was Emery.
Yeah.
Really interesting to talk about just, I guess, your upbringing with him as this chess champ. How did he get into chess?
Yeah, I do believe I had the best father on the planet.
So you had the best father on the planet, but you had a very hard, poor upbringing. Which one is it, nigga? Do you not have your parents around? Do you not have a good household and you were broke as shit? Or did you have a dad who worked with the fucking government who taught you how to play chess and who was always around just wilding?
A lot of the things I regurgitate are regurgitated from him. A lot of the things I say,
That is a creepy nigga, dog. That's his pops? That is a creepy nigga. Look at him. He did the rituals. He's an Illuminati. I don't care. I don't need no more evidence.
He literally said to me, line for line, I believe that he was very morbid in his approach to life, and he wanted me to understand that he will not be here forever, and he wanted me to understand.
Pause. We're pausing the show. We got KB in the chat. Shout out to Bama 5 Bama. What up? We got KB in the chat asking for the PayPal. We might be closer to the StreamYard. The panel might be opening up tonight. You feel me? The panel might be opening up tonight. Hold on. But do I have a... Can you use my phone number in Africa? Like, how do I do this? How do you do that? I got PayPal, but I forgot how do you give people your PayPal again? You can tell I don't be asking motherfuckers for money. Because I forgot how to even, like, request on PayPal. I think it's like your phone number or something. Hold on. We'll see.
And that when he was gone, I had a duty to fulfill. He talked about dying a lot, which I guess is kind of unusual, but he would. Even though he was relatively young, he died when he was 58. But he was a chess professional. He was a professional chess player. He was one of the best chess players in the world. And what's most interesting about him is he almost predicted the future absolutely and utterly perfectly. He was talking about the Ukraine-Russia war back in 2013, and he was talking about how the gay people can't have children, so they're going to come for your children. Trust me, that's what they're going to do. The children are next. Like, he'd say all these things back like 10 or 11 years ago, and I'd be like, all right, Dad, you're a bit...
Yo, my bad. The bitch was texting me right now. I gotta take this back a second because you started talking about Tate's dad talking about them fucking with the kids. You know how I feel about the kids, man. Anybody messing with the kids, they gotta die slow. Feel me? I don't care what the algorithm. You gotta go immediately. Let's hear what you saying. I thought Tate's dad was black. You didn't see that nigga sitting right there? That weird looking nigga? He was black. Hold up. Hold up. Look. Is it gonna go there?
Believe that he was very morbid in his approach to life. Believe that
Really interesting to talk about.
I'm going to try and save the world. No, I guess when Tate are regurgitated.
Look, he black. That's a black person, dog. I know just because you're African and you're uncut, unadulterated black, you're the original man and all this shit. You from the motherland and all this shit. You gonna say niggas over here aren't black because we light skinned and shit like that? You feel me? It is what it is. We're black too, dog. Sorry, we're black too. You feel me? And we're American black. It's better. But let's go.
From him, a lot of the things I say, he literally said to me line for line. I believe that.
Wavy in the chat is a waffle colored Mason. I can't argue against that. That nigga in the boule. Let's go.
That he was very morbid in his approach to life, and he wanted me to understand that he will not be here forever, and he wanted me to understand that when he is gone, I had a duty to fulfill. He talked about dying a lot, which I guess is kind of unusual, but he would, even though he was relatively young. He died when he was 58. But he was a chess professional. He was a professional chess player. He was one of the best chess players in the world. And what's most interesting about him is he almost predicted the future absolutely and utterly perfectly. He was talking about the Ukraine-Russia war back in 2013, and he was talking about how the gay people can't have children, so they're going to come for your children. Trust me, that's what they're going to do. The children are next. Like, he'd say all...
Dropping facts. He dropping truth. You're Wavy. I don't care if he's a waffle-colored Mason. If he said that back then, you know what? But he kind of already knew because he was in the CIA, so he knew it was going to go down already. So, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're right. He just a waffle-colored Mason. Waffle head ass, Drake colored ass nigga.
All these things back like 10 or 11 years ago, and I'd be like, all right, Dad, you're a bit crazy. Calm down. But I guess when you're a chess player, you see the future. And he raised me with absolute accountability, and he certainly raised me and Tristan to be... He understood what the world expects of men, and he raised us to be strong. And even when we were in jail, my mother would call, I'd speak to her on the phone, and she'd say, how are you doing? And I'd say, oh, don't worry. And she would say, yeah, Dad raised you for this. Like, we were always raised to be warriors. So
that's some sad black people shit. Dad raised you to have to sit down for a minute. Dad knew, like, he like, yo, I know y'all are half white and all that shit, but you might have to sit down for a second. His dad looked like DJ Envy. His dad, what's other light skinned niggas we can compare his dad to? The nigga dad look like Key and Peele. This nigga look like the nigga with Jordan Peele, dog.
I don't think I could have possibly ever had a better father. I'm going to miss him forever. And I think the best thing I can do is be the best version of myself to give honor and respect to him. And I think that's the best thing.
Where did he pick up chess? It's quite unusual. He's American. He was American.
Yeah.
Black American. Yeah. I don't know too many Black American chess players, full stop.
Yeah.
Because you don't know shit, Candace Owens. You never heard of the RZA and the Jizza? You never heard of Wu-Tang Clan? Never heard of the mysteries of chess boxing, bitch? You never heard of black Americans playing chess? Niggas in the hood are playing chess. Niggas go to jail. What the fuck you think they're doing in there? They're playing chess, getting really good at it and shit. What the... Bitch, don't ever underestimate. You never heard of the RZA, the Jizza, Inspector Deck and all them niggas?
Where did he pick up chess?
He taught himself. And he taught himself, and he just read a couple books. I think he read 3 chess books and ended up being one of the best players in the world. And
incredible.
It's incredible. But it's actually interesting when you talk about, we were just discussing affinity and how people are imperfect people and how it allows you to actually teach things better. My father, towards the end of his chess career especially, made most of his money teaching chess in inner city schools because he's a big black guy. Mm-hmm. So the children would be like, oh.
Wavy, that's a black person, right? That's a little less waffle colored. He looks more like a black person. But he is teaching the Indian child to dominate us, which I don't like. I don't like how he's teaching the Indian niggas to be better than us. Let's go.
Okay, I'll listen to this man. You're right. So it's amazing how affinity is real and coming from a certain socioeconomic background is real. And, you know, we all talk about how ridiculous racism is, but also to a degree, pattern recognition is real. I look like him. I can be like him. These things are real. So yeah, he did fantastically well in terms of teaching, especially disadvantaged children. And he taught himself, and I wish I had his mind. I'm not nearly as intelligent as he was. I wish I was.
You gotta be real smart to be a good chess player.
You've got to be better than smart. I actually think you go beyond the realm of smart into a, I wouldn't say he was on the spectrum, but you certainly get to a new level of socio interactions. Do you understand? I'd go to chess tournaments when I was a kid, and everybody there would be a world level chess player, and everyone was a bit strange, a little bit. I don't know if it's like that anymore. I see the chess community's now moved online.
Yeah, so stop making your kids creepy. Stop making your kids creepy and make them little sociopaths like Tate and force them to play chess. You feel me? Your kids don't need chess. Teach them that they don't need hormone blockers. How about you teach your kids that? It's 2023.
There's a lot of them playing online, and they seem a lot more normal than the grandmasters I remembered. I remembered old grandmasters, half drunk, ex-KGB, shaking at the board. Yeah, like it was a bit different back then. But yeah, I wish I had his level of intellect. He was certainly the smartest person I've ever known. And even when he died, I got endless emails from people I'd never heard of who just said, I worked with your dad, and I don't think you understand how smart he was.
He served America, yeah?
He served America. He was in the Air Force.
We got this confirmation in the chat. Shout out to KB. KB says, African or non-African, Candace Owens does not look like people. I told you she don't look like people. Motherfucker think I'm just telling jokes out here. She don't look like people. Don't she look like some like Island and Dr. Monroe thing? Don't she look like the cat people that white new age people be saying come from space and be with other aliens? Don't she look like them type of people? She don't look like people. And why Andrew Tate's daddy looks so creepy in this picture? I didn't stop. Yo, look at this nigga. The Department of where is it? What is this? This nigga in the Illuminati.
Air Force, and he was a linguist for the CIA. He joined the Air Force and ended up being a linguist for the intelligence.
What other languages did he speak?
He spoke Russian, German, Spanish, and English, but officially he was supposed to speak Russian. He assimilated Russian in 2 weeks. I think he holds the Air Force record.
Okay, so he's very smart.
Yeah, super ridiculously smart. Yeah. I got an email from somebody when he died, and they said that, I just want to send you an email. You don't know who I am. I was serving with your father in the armed forces. You tell him.
He's not that smart. 4 languages ain't that crazy. I met a nigga online one time at EKB, and nigga said he spoke 15 goddamn languages and did all types of African clicks. You feel me? I knew a nigga like that, 15 languages. You feel me? So you don't got to be that smart to speak Russian, Spanish, German, and English. Did this nigga mention English?
Tell everybody your dad was smart, and they're not going to understand how smart he was. And I want to give you a quick story. I was living with a Russian woman, and I already spoke Russian conversationally when I began the Air Force training to learn Russian. Your father knew nothing, didn't know the alphabet, didn't know nothing. And within 2.5 weeks, he was correcting everybody, including the professor on Russian.
Yeah.
So like he just read the dictionary. I saw my dad sit there and read a dictionary, just read it. And that was it. Yeah. It's like photographic memory. Like
he was on a spectrum.
Yeah.
Something else going on.
Yeah, something else.
Little X-Men.
Emery Tate was his name.
It's called demonic, baby girl. He had them spirits in him, or he was just a super. Niggas are geniuses. You feel me? He tapped into that nigga energy. He tapped into He tapped into the nigga field, the quantum nigga field. You feel me? And in the quantum nigga field, he reached the Akashic records and all that shit. We actually invented. It comes from us. You feel me? We are the stone which hit the water to make the reverberations. So all we got to do is trace shit back through the memory and the Akashic records and all that shit. We can do anything at any time. All that nigga was doing was brushing up, looking at the shit. He's like, oh, I remember inventing this shit.
Name, and everyone called him E.T.
He was tough on you.
E.T. He was certainly tough on me, and I can't express enough how grateful I am for that. We live in a world now where I'm going to say that my dad hit me when I made a mistake, and everyone's going to lose their minds. And they're going to pretend I was somehow abused and that somehow my childhood was terrible. And I could not if he was come down to earth today, I would shake his hand and say, thank you for absolutely everything you gave me, including discipline, including understanding that in the harsh realities of the real world, there is a line. And if you cross that line, violence appears. That's the unfortunate reality of earth. There's a line, and if you cross it, violence will appear, either from a cop or from a guy on the street, or from someone you don't like, or even a friend will turn on you, whatever. There's a line that shouldn't be crossed. And I learned that from a very young age, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm not sitting here saying the kids should be abused. There's a difference between abuse and discipline, of course. Everyone with a brain understands that. But he was extremely tough on me. And if I could change anything about my childhood, I'd only wish he was tougher. Because life's...
Damn, Andrew Tate got Munchausen. Andrew Tate got Stockholm Syndrome. Andrew Tate wanted dad to come back and beat his ass. And Andrew Tate daddy knew Joe Jackson, and they were competing for who could make the best kid by beating their ass.
Tough. Life's hard. And I think that the best thing you can possibly do as a man is prepare for the endless difficulty that's going to come your way. There's no way out as a man. You're either going to have a very difficult life to become somebody important, or you're going to suffer the difficulty of being invisible. What do you want to do? You want to be invisible and just hide and work in Starbucks and never have a girlfriend who truly loves you and nobody care if you live or die? Or do you want to go out there and be top G and be the most famous man in the world and have government agencies trying to lock you up for no reason, putting you in a dungeon? You have to make a choice. It's going to be difficult either way. So I think if you have a son and you're not preparing him for absolute difficulty, you're...
I don't know if I can keep doing the show. I'm kind of tuning this guy out now. I'm trying to stay like focused on the show, but he's just running his mouth, and I don't give a shit what he's talking about. I'm gonna be real, nigga. I'm black. Okay, nigga. You had a little bit of black experience. Yeah, welcome to it. Yeah.
You're doing him a disservice. I think that's... and they don't want them to have...
Dead air.
Or enough forward thinking or even enough care for anything outside of themselves to do something about it. Another thing people don't understand is that a lot of these attacks and a lot of things they're trying to do with the culture, especially, they're trying to inject such innate selfishness inside of people that they don't really care about anything that happens outside of themselves. Because then it's very difficult to give a shit about your community. It's very difficult to have any kind of genuine care about your town or your country or an issue. No, they just want you to be self-absorbed, semi-depressed, because depressed people don't fight that hard, watching porn, living inside of your own mind, convinced that somehow you're oppressed for some reason, on the internet typing tweets. That's what they want you to do. And they're going to try and keep you there.
I hope he's not mixing that shit with so-called like black so-called oppression and this made-up oppression of like, oh, you don't recognize that I believe I'm a cat or whatever. You feel me? They like to mix this shit, and yeah, let me not even go down this road. I'm about to turn this shit off. I'm being real with you guys. Thanks for whoever's chilling.
And genuine masculinity.
Yo, thanks whoever's chilling, bro.
Yeah, to a degree it's protective, and to a degree also it has parameters. You can't be a man who doesn't say no. You can't be a man who doesn't have standards for himself and for people around him. I'm got labeled as ultra misogynistic because I believe that a man should have standards in his relationship. I believe a man should avoid dishonest people, male and female. You should avoid, if you're a dishonest person, if you lie, if you're going to deceive me, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I was sitting talking on a panel show saying that women who are dishonest and promiscuous are not the kind of woman I'd ever want to associate with. And I was labeled misogynistic for that. So it's crazy how they'll attack you, and they'll attack you so violently and so endlessly.
No way, hoes say nonsense. No way, bro. Stupid bitches say dumb shit. Yo, I'm sorry, man. I got to end the show. I'm sorry. I can't take this anymore. Shout out to Wavy, bringing us $5 closer to the $20 we need to get the StreamYards popping. You feel me? KB says he might be on the PayPal with it, but I gotta check up. I gotta see what's up with the PayPal and shit. But we'll see. I'm gonna come back later. We'll do a stream and maybe we'll run up another $15, and we back at the StreamYards. The panel's popping and all that shit. But we'll see. I can't listen to this nonsense anymore. I'm out. Peace.